everybody. On my way to class. And for those of you who follow me, you know that on Audacious Evolution we have made November the month of health and wellness for men. And part of those activities is a men's wellness interview series. And on that panel, it's an all-male panel, and we're discussing all aspects of male health and wellness. Everything from andropause, which is male menopause. A lot of people don't know that men have their own version of menopause. To, spiritual health, financial health, family health, career health. And so we're talking all aspects of male health and wellness. On Tuesday we had cognitive health. On Thursday we had fitness and longevity. Tomorrow we're doing men and mental health. On Thursday we're doing financial health. And throughout it all, I keep getting asked the same question over and over and over again. Nadia, why are you doing this? What prompted you to turn over your whole entire business for a whole entire month to focus only on men? And one of my students, a male student, recommended that I do a video. And so here we are, while I'm on my way to class, doing a video. Okay, so many moons ago, when I was graduating with my first degree at university, the incomparable Dr. Rhoda Reddock came and she did an address. And it was the beginning of a sounding call that we needed to look at what was happening with our boys. Girls were starting to outperform boys by then in large numbers. My graduating class in university, the amount of girls graduating compared to boys was staggering, the difference. And it had just really started to get very noticeable that girls were starting to outperform boys by large margins. And she congratulated us and she said that was really great. However, we needed to not ignore boys. We needed to put things in place for our boys too. Now I'm paraphrasing her, okay? This is a 30-year-old memory or thereabouts. But the part that stuck with me is she said, word for word, if we do not put things in place to support our boys and our men now, violence against women is not only going to continue, it is going to get worse. And I have lived long enough to see that come true. I have had a career that spans being a teacher in a junior sec, to working in marketing, to working in health and safety with a whole bunch of men, to teaching yoga now. And I have met men and boys of all different walks of life, and I can tell you they are struggling. They are really struggling. That narrative that men don't care, that men don't want help, that is not true. Are there men out there who don't care and don't want help and happy being dysfunctional and living in dysfunctionalville? Of course. Not all men are, wanting to change any more than all women want to be good. There's some very bad women out there. There's some horrible mothers out there. Trust me when I tell you. Right? So the absolutes where we go, men don't like to do this and men don't like to do that, I've found that my personal experience is that that is not true. The issue is not that they don't want help. The issue is that we don't put the help in a way whenever in the rare instance where there is help, it's not done in a way that they will respond. It's not done in a way, we don't speak to them in a way that they feel like we genuinely want help. I've had so many men, when I was advertising this program, I've had so many men privately DM me. One person went on my timeline, but a couple of other men went in my DMs and said, you just riding the Movember train. You just looking for likes and clicks. And it's unfortunate that they feel that way, because it's true. In a lot of instances, it's true. But that is not my truth. My best friends in the world are men. And when I was growing up, now they call it, non-binary now, but when I was growing up, I was a real tomboy. And so my best friends have always been men. I've always been very, very good friends with men. And I watch them, a lot of them I've known since childhood. And I've watched them grow up, I've watched them get married, I've watched them become fathers, I've watched them get divorced, some of them. I've watched them bury a spouse, some of them. I've watched them bury a child, some of them. I've watched them bury parents. And this narrative that men don't feel and that men don't care, it is categorically untrue. And they are struggling. My friends, I had a conversation with a friend on Saturday. I spoke to him for over an hour. Our men are struggling and there is not enough help. There are very, very few resources for them. And when you find the resources, sometimes it's too expensive, or the paperwork, the red tape is ridiculous, or the way that it is positioned for them. Some of them, I will tell you, it's downright insulting. I've seen some programs being advertised and there's this low-key sort of snarkiness underneath it. And you can tell that the person is just, well, the attitude is, well, it's men. It's not cool, man. And it's not true. And so for many, 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 many years, for a really, really long time, I've wanted to do this. And every time I've gone to, when I was in marketing, I would go to my employer and say, listen, let's do a men wellness series for men. Let's do something targeting our men. And every single time without fail, it would get shut down. And I would get told, men won't come. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of money. And I have gotten to the point where I've just gotten tired of hearing no. And so I said, you know what, Nadia, start small. Start with a few guys. Do it online, do it free. I'm financing the whole thing. I have no sponsor. I've asked nobody for money for this. I've asked everybody to dedicate their time, and I am so grateful to every single one of them, because these guys are very, very busy and they're taking their time to do something because they know as men that men are struggling. I'm so happy that I didn't listen, because I now have, people told me nobody would come, and within the first week I opened registration, I got up to 55 people. And I know for some of you, you're going to go 55 people, that's not a lot. 55 men is a lot when everybody told you not to do it. Nobody's going to come. Nobody's going to come. Nobody's going to care. I keep getting messages. I keep getting people calling me and saying I can't attend the series. And I tell them, register. I will send you the video link. So everybody who is registered and they got the video links from last week Tuesday and last week Thursday, including the people who could not attend. I understand that people have jobs, people have children, people have commitments. I have people who are registered who are Caribbean and in the diaspora. They live in Europe, they live in England, in Canada, sorry, I mean to say. And so the time differences are big. I know somebody who's in Australia, and so the time differences are quite big. They want to attend, right? But they can't attend live, but they are watching the videos, and I am getting feedback from them. And so it is not that men don't care. It is that we don't speak to them in a way that they would positively respond to. And I am so grateful to every single person who reached out and encouraged me to continue to do it, to go for it, because I am getting a lot of good responses from the guys, even the ones who didn't attend. And on the panel, we have some really, really wonderful people who are giving up their time to help me with this series. The intention is to do it as an annual event, and maybe even get to the point where we can do it as a physical event and have a build up to a physical event and have a conference. But I plan to every year November to November over only to guys. Now, just so we clear, it's not that I don't talk to men ever, because I do. If you go to Audacious Evolution, you will see that I do articles and videos, and I do a lot of content for men ordinarily. But the series, the panel, the getting everybody to come out and interviews and stuff like that, strictly for men, is going to be an annual event. I am committing to that, and I'm doing a video of it so y'all can hold me to it. I am committed to it, and so that is why I'm doing it. I have stood on the sidelines. Well, actually, I wasn't on the sidelines because I have been supporting my friends, but I am only one person and I can only do so much, you know. And I am sick and tired of the whole narrative that men don't care. Okay, you want men to care, you want men to change, you want men to get better, but you're not putting systems and support programs and stuff in place to help them get better, and then we judge them for it. To me, that makes no sense. That makes absolutely no sense. If you want somebody to change, if you want somebody to do better, then you have to put things in place to help them. And I am here in Trinidad and Tobago, for those of you who don't know. I know I can talk on behalf of throughout the Caribbean as well when I say there is not enough being done. Our cultures are broken from, and this is not me being melodramatic, but we're all slave colonies to the we're young countries. I mean, Trinidad and Tobago became independent in 1962. We're a young country, and so our infrastructure, our culture is very toxic towards both men and women. There are a lot of things that need to get fixed, and I don't believe in the government. Yes, the government has its responsibility, but it's a shared responsibility. We have our obligations as well to be part of the change that we want to see. And sorry to be to use that cliche, but it's true. It's cliche because it's true. If we want to do something different, we want to see something different, then we have to be the part of the something different. If we're not participating in helping things become different, then we become part of the problem. And that is my personal view on things. You can either be part of the problem, or you could be part of the solution. And if you're not being part of the solution, or at the very least staying out of the way of the people being a part of the solution, then you've become part of the problem. And a lot of us as women, we sit down and we go, men this, men that, men the other. Why men doing this? And then you look around and you ask, well, who's raising them? And I know I just went into a pick-a patch, but it's the truth. Who's raising them, right? The culture here, the environment here, we have a lot of things that need fixing, but we can't sit down and say the government, and we can't do it alone. You know, I spoke to somebody this week who I asked to come onto the panel, and he agreed, and I told him that the worst thing to ever happen to male-female relationships is that phrase, the battle of the sexes. That is the worst term that ever came to pass, because what it did is it basically cemented the idea that we are each other's enemy, that we are and we're constantly at war. Women this, women that, women the other. Men this, men that, men the other. They pointing fingers at us pointing fingers at them. And guess what? Society is failing, right? Things are falling apart because everybody is pointing fingers at everybody else. And it's all of us. It's all of us. We have to work together. If every single, because you hear women saying, if we just get rid of all the men, we will have happily ever after. No, we won't. Because how are we going to get other women? We'll just die out. It's the same thing for men. if get rid of all the men, all the women, what's going to happen to society? So we cannot live without each other. We need each other. We need each other. And anybody who says otherwise and believes that, I have a piece of land, seafront property actually on Saturn, I could tell you if you like, because it's the truth. We need each other, and men need women and women need men. And if women want men to step up their game, then we have to be part of it as well. And if men want women to step up our game, then they have to be part of it as well. But it's not going to happen if we put systems in place for one group and we don't for the next. And that's what we do. Try finding something in this country or anywhere really that specifically targets helping men become better in their space, to become better men. Find a program. See how many of them are out there. There aren't a lot. There aren't a lot. And the ones that they are frightfully expensive, or the red tape to get into them, you just might as well don't bother. And so for me, I said, you know what, I am tired listening to the naysayers. I'm going to do this, right? And so that's why I decided to have the whole entire month of November dedicated to men's health and wellness, and why I am committed to making it an annual activity where we come in and we have experts from different aspects of health and wellness specifically talk to that specifically as it relates to men. And this video is longer than I thought it would have been, but it's good to get these things out. And so for those of you who have not registered yet, you still have time to register. You can get the videos for the links that have gone before. That was a piece of confusing English there. You can get the links for the videos, yes, that have gone before. You can go to www.audaciousevolution.com. You will see events. You have two ways. You will see events on the top. You can click on that, or you will see the photo of that I was using to promote the event. You can click on that. Either which one will take you to the registration page, and you register for the event. It is free, and it is open to men of all ages. Somebody asked me recently if their older teenagers could come, and I said yes. I had them in mind when I was crafting the program, and I did communicate to the men on the panel that it's for men of all ages. If you wish, you can use it as an opportunity to talk to them about different topics. So you can, as a parent, you can, if you want to, and if they are okay with it, you can do it with them and use it as a platform to help. Because I know a lot of parents, especially single mothers out there with sons, you don't always have the right words and you don't always have the right tools to help your sons. And so if you want to sit with them and attend the session and use that as a platform to help the communication, and they are free to ask questions. If they're a little embarrassed, because we know teenagers how they go, you can send me your questions and I will ask the questions on their behalf if they're too embarrassed and they're too shy. All right, and so that's it for me. www.audaciousevolution.com, and you're looking for events. You'll see the men's wellness interview series. Click on it. Tickets are free, and you will get, if you cannot attend it live, you will get the recorded sessions. Okay, so until next time, bye.